Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online character build special video for one of you guys. Somebody asked me if I could make a build for them, and at first I was really confused because this is a strange request. A dual resto staff necro build. And it was, like I said, it was a very strange request, but I went and I did some tinkering, I did some fine-tuning, if you will, and I think I came up with something that's going to work out pretty good. Now, the whole concept of this design is based on the Dark Main. If you guys don't know what the Dark Main is, play through the Reaper's March storyline. You'll find out a lot about the Dark Main there. But basically, what this character is they're a Dark Main priest. They're a worshipper of the Dark Main, that they follow under that kind of thing. They're kind of Dromothra, but they're not. They follow the Dark Main's teachings and belief system and all that. That's why we have the Dromothra look for this character. So that's a little bit of background about this character. But disclaimer to everyone, this is a purely roleplay character. This is not something that you're going to do every ounce of content with. You could probably heal really good with it. You could probably do that, but other than that, I really think you would be pushing too hard to do anything else. It is purely a support character. Nothing more, nothing less, and purely a healer. I tried to make it work as well as I could, but I did try a lot of different combinations with this. I probably tinkered with about 15, 20 different setups before I fell on this. So let's get in and take a look at this. So remember, this is purely a role-playing build. This is not an in-game build or meta build. This is purely role-playing. Alright, let's take a look at it. As I said, this is the Dark Main Priest. We are a Khajiit Necromancer because, of course, Khajiit's going to be the best for this, and Necromancy just really fits in for the Dark Main kind of stuff. As you can see, we have 30k Magicka, 20k health, 13k stamina, 1969 magic recovery, which kind of blows me away. 2012 spell damage, 40% spell critical, 13k spell resist, 11k physical resist, and then we are using the Atronach Mundus Stone for our extra recovery. We are using Witch Mother's Potent Brew for the extra recovery. But just so you can see, I do have the Longfin Pasty and Melon Socks, the Tri-Stat food. If you want a little bit more Magicka, you will lose magic recovery, but you gain more Magicka and more stamina and more health. So either way is really up to you on how you want to play this character when it comes to food and drink. Alright, moving on to the rest of the gear. We are using Tri-Crown Pots for if we need just overall recovery. And then we're using Spell Power Pots to boost our max Magicka, our spell critical, and magic recovery. Alright, now I did a lot of tinkering with the sets here. And there's a couple you can go with besides this for monster sets. Earthgore's a really good option. Bogdan's is a really good option. Or this is a really good option. And that is the Symphony of Blades Visage. This drops in the, I want to say, Depths of Malatar? Because I know it's not Frostfold. I think this is the Depths of Malatar monster set. As you can see, this thing gives you the 1-piece healing done. 2-piece, when you heal an ally who is under 50% of their primary resources, grant them Meridia's favor, restoring X amount of Magicka or stamina, whichever maximum is higher, every second for 6 seconds. This effect can occur every 18 seconds. So, great thing is, orbs, this. Orbs, this. Because you're going to be able to do between orbs and this because of the cooldown on synergies. So this is a really good one that you can mix with orbs, especially the type of orbs we're going to be using. Now moving on to the next set. The next set was kind of a toss-up. I thought about trying Scathing Mage. That would have been really good. I thought about Julianus, another good option. I thought about a few trial sets, but then I said I don't want to make it too hard for the person to build it. So I went with this, the Combat Physician. I know, I like to use this set on a lot of support characters. Max Magicka for the 2-piece, 3-piece critical, 4-piece spell critical, 5-piece. When you critically heal yourself or an ally, you grant your target a damage shield that absorbs 9,506 damage for 6 seconds. This effect can occur once every 6 seconds. So the nice thing about this is it's really good for roleplay purposes. If you're doing like dungeons, normal, even veteran mode, this is really good in dungeons. Trials, again, I wouldn't even tempt, like, unless you're just playing healer, like, don't even take this into it. To avoid them. But it would work out. It still could work out. Alright, moving on to the final set, and this is where things get really questionable. We are using Light Speakers. Light Speakers gives you an extra thing of spell crit, more Max Magicka, more spell damage, and then adds 450 spell damage to your Restoration Staff abilities. The strange thing is that it doesn't just apply to your abilities, it also applies to your light and heavy attacks with the Resto Staff. I don't know how, but it does. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to hit this big, ugly target dummy. Actually, we'll hit this 6,000, because somebody else is in here, was over there parse testing. I didn't want to interrupt him. So I'm just going to show you guys what I mean. I'm going to drink a potion. Oops. A power pot, and we're going to heavy attack. This is what it looks like. See the ticking damage there for the heavy attacks? That's almost 5k damage on some of these. And that's with a 50% crit. So this thing has absurd damage. Even its light attack damage is just wow. I mean, seriously, that's just wow. So it works really good in that sense. So we are using dual Resto Staves, both bars, and like I said, the concept of this is to be a Dark Priest. So your character is pretty much a priest. Finishing off, we're going to go over the traits, enchants, and everything. Starting with the 3 main enchants we use. We are using Tri-Stats on the big pieces. 2 Invigorating on the leggings and the chest. The reason why, this is light armor. The helm is heavy, so we want to go Reinforced to give us greater survivability. This just boosts our resistances a little bit more. Now on the smaller pieces, we are using Divines with Max Magicka enchants. We are running 1 heavy, 1 medium, and the rest is light. The monster set is light and medium. And like I said, if you can't get this monster set, Bogdan's is a really good choice. That's a really easy set to get, and you could probably get it with this build while farming Light Speaker. Alright. Now, moving on to the jewelry, we have 2 Tri-Rune enchants. This is to give us more ability to have blocking capabilities with stamina and dodge rolling and stuff like that for our stamina, and it just helps out overall. Alright, moving on. So we just have that mainly for that purpose. So we have a high stamina pool with a really good Magicka pool. I wouldn't say great, but it's decent. And then we have the Light Speaker's necklace with an infused magic recovery. Now you got to remember, we're just using the Antarok Mundus Stone, this recovery thing, and the Witch Mother's Potent Brew, and we can break almost 2k spell recovery. We can actually break 2k when we go with the Power Pot. And our spell damage goes up to 24,114. Or 24,114, yeah. You guys get one in 2,414. Alright, now going over the weapons. Now this is a dual Resto Staff build. I put a Nirnhone Resto Staff on the front bar for damage purposes. This is mainly to help you do damage so you don't feel like you're unplayable. We do have an Absorb Magicka enchant. This is going to give you really good access to Magicka Restore and stuff. On the back bar, we are using an infused weapon and spell damage enchant. Before you question, this thing gets like 3k spell damage. Okay? It's very scary that a healer has 2,414 spell damage with a resto staff, okay? And on top of that, we also get the added 450, so we actually go to 3k. Alright, and that's what we have for the gear and everything. Now, like I said, this is a purely suggestion. There's a lot of other options you can go with on the sets. If you want to even still stick with dual resto staff. This is just my theoried idea. Alright, moving on to the skills. Class skills, everything magic based. You're going to learn everything that's going to give you magicka, or is going to cost you magicka. No stamina based skills here. And make sure you get all the passives. Moving on, Restoration Staff is the only tool we have. Make sure you get all the passives and all the skills that you want to use on it. The ones that I like to use, I like Light's Champion because it gives major force. Since we're not using... We do have Warhorn, but this would allow us to apply it easier and faster because it's 125 ultimate versus 250. We do have Healing Springs, we do have Rapid Regeneration, Combat Prayer, Ward Ally, Siphon Spirit, and then all the passives. I like Siphon Spirit because it puts Magicka Steal and Life Steal. Alright, moving on to Light Armor passives, get them all. And you might want to think about one of the damage shields like Dampen Magic. Harness Magicka, either one would be good. Dampen Magic would probably be your better option because this is going to give you more than half your life in a shield. Medium Armor, top 2 passives, bottom 1. Really, you just need the bottom one. Heavy Armor, top 3. We are wearing a 5-1-1 setup. You can be a vampire with this, but I just went with this stuff on the Soul Magic, so my usual. Guys, I'm having a hard time doing this. And nothing against the guy who wanted me to do this. It's just, the reason I'm having a hard time doing this is because this isn't my typical kind of character I would make. So it's really hard to even picture this as a playable character for me. So, bear with me. Fighters Guild, you're just going to need Ring of Preservation. This is mainly if your group needs some support. You will have the resources to use this. Intimidating Presence and Banish the Wicked. Mages Guild, get all the passives. I would suggest getting Structured Entropy if you want to be able to have a source of extra spell stuff. This way you can also put this on both bars, so you can have that 8% max health. So that's a really nice thing that you could do. You could also use Inner Light if you wanted to boost your max magicka, your choice. Psijic Order, same thing, pick the skills and passives that are going to work best for you. Probably all magicka based, and the same thing I did here, I just picked the magicka abilities. You can get Bone Shield if you want, to have an extra synergy or something. The only reason why I put Inner Rage on here is because, who knows, maybe you want a tank. I don't know. Make sure you get the Undaunted passes, and then moving on to the Alliance, I just took this one here in the Assault. In Support, I took Replenishing Barrier. It's a really good one for this setup. Efficient Purge, and then Mystic Guard, even though you have your own Purge ability built into the class. Khajiit, make sure you get all the passives, and then moving on to Alchemy, Medicinal Use, Provisioning, Gourmand, and Connoisseur. Now I'm going to go over the skills the way I have them set up on the bar. And again, please understand, this is purely a evil priest. So, starting with the first ability, we have Ricochet Skull. This is really nice. It doesn't. You throw out an explosive skull that deals X amount of flame damage. Every third cast of this ability deals 20% increased damage, and will bounce up to 2 times to other nearby enemies. So if you use this as your spammable, it's actually really nice. The next thing we have is Stalking Blast Bones. Really good ability. It does lots of flame damage, and it also, every second the skeleton spins chasing a target, the explosion is 10%, explosion by 10% to a maximum of 50% of detonation strength. So it actually grows in strength value. Next ability we have is Unnerving Boneyard. This is mainly because it does a lot of frost damage, but it also applies Major Breach and Major Fracture. This is some support for your group. Also, it's also a synergy, so it's a really good one to have on your bar. Now, moving on, we have the Skeletal Arcanist. This is here for damage purposes. Again, but this is primarily when you're just solo playing and you're not playing in a group, okay? I'm just letting you know now. Mystic Siphon, another really good damage ability kind of thing. Remember, most of your damage abilities are going to come from your class. Not a lot of other things have really good magic abilities that do damage besides your Mystic Orbs, which is one of the abilities I did pick for you to be able to use. And then the Mage's Guild, the Scalding Rune. That's pretty much it besides Shooting Star. The rest of it is going to be class-based abilities, or it's going to be the light and heavy attacks. So, now remember, this is primarily based on using the Resto Staff. So even with having no Resto Staff skills on the front bar, you can still take advantage of that 450 spell damage. On the back bar, I did load it up with a lot of the Resto Staff abilities because I thought it would kind of fit. You can use a lot of your own heals for this class. This class has some super powerful heals. But let's go see what we have here. We have Healing Springs, which is really good. It does a heal up front and a heal over time. It only lasts for 3 seconds, though. And it restores Magicka for each friendly target you hit with the initial heal, up to a maximum of 3 targets. So you can get like 900 and something Magicka back. Almost 1,000. Next, we have Rapid Regeneration. This is just a really good heal over time. It heals you and up to 2 nearby allies. Really good for dungeon play, again. Combat Prayer, again, really good burst heal. And it does a heal, it also grants Minor Berserk, Minor Resolve, and Minor Ward. This increases physical damage, increases damage by 8%, and physical and spell resistance by 1,320. This just helps keep your group alive with resistances. Now, that only lasts for 8 seconds, so if you want to keep it up a lot, you have to kind of spam this. It's really stupid. I know it sounded bad, but you do kind of have to spam it. Next, we have Intensive Mender. This is here, so we have a spirit that we can siphon from with our damage ability, besides our Blast Bones and our Skeletal Mage. And this one, conjure a ghostly spirit to do your bidding and stay by your side for 8 seconds. The spirit heals you or the lowest health ally around you for every 2 seconds, restoring 5,306 health. So it's very, very good. Then we have our Siphon Spirit for the Magicka Steel and the Life Steal. And then last but not least, we have Animate Blast Bones. So this one, bring allies back from the brink of death, resurrecting up to 3 allies in the target location. You consume up to 3 other corpses in the area and summon a Blast Bone for each corpse. Yeah, it's a pretty wicked ability. Now this one does cost 320 ultimate, so just warning you. And there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of different ways you can set up the skills for this. You can put some of these heals on the front bar, so you can take advantage of that light speaker on both bars more effectively with the heals, and then intermix your death magic kind of stuff, and you could probably have a pretty wicked rotation with this. Damage wise, you're not a damage dealer. You can play solo pretty well because you can take a beating and you could heal yourself through most of the damage. I mean, when you're healing for 3k on Healing Springs and like 1,500 there, and that's without the potion. As soon as you drink the potion, 4k Healing Springs, 2k, almost 3k Rapid Regeneration, 10k Combat Prayers, your spirit heals you for like 7k. It's ridiculous. But that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the build in a nutshell. We will go over the CP real quick, and then I might take it into a dungeon. I haven't done that yet, to be honest. I did test a few other options in dungeons, but let's continue on to CP. So now that I've shown you guys the skills and the gear and everything, we'll go over CP real quick, and then I'll take it into a dungeon. So taking a look here, We have 56 in Ironclad. This reduces damage taken from direct damage attacks by 20%. We do have 18 in the Spell Shield, increasing our spell resist. We have 20 into Light Armor Focus, increasing our physical resist by 1900. And then we have 31 into Thick Skin, reducing your damage taken from damage over time effects by 13%. 43 into Hardy, reducing physical poison disease damage by 10%, and the same thing with Elemental Element Defender. This reduces flame, frost, shock, and magic damage by 10%. Moving on, 40 into Bastion, increase the effectiveness of damage shields by 16%. 19 into Quick Recovery, increasing your healing received by 5%. And then moving into the Green Tree, we have 40 into Warlord. This gives you reduced cost to break free by 16%. Sprinter, 16 points, gives you reduced sprint cost by 10%. Bashing Focus, 16 points, reducing bash cost by 16%. And then moving on over here, we have 43 into Arcanist, increasing your Magicka recovery by 10%. 75 in its Tenacity, increasing your Magicka and Stamina return with fully charged heavy attacks for 14%. And then moving on over here, we have 40 into Tumbling, reducing your dodge roll cost by 16%. 40 into Shadow Ward, reducing your block cost by 16%. And then moving on, 43 into Blessed, increasing your healing done by 10%. 56 into Elfborn, increasing your critical damage and critical healing with magic abilities by 20%. 56 into Elemental Expert, increasing Flame, Frost, Shock, and magic damage done by 12%. And then we have 35 in the Staff Expert, increasing your light and heavy attacks done with Destruction, Resto Staff, and Overload by 20%. 40 in the Master in Arms, increasing your damage done with direct damage by 18%. And then 40 in the Thaumaturge, increasing your damage done with damage over time effects by 16%. Heavy attacks from Resto Staff are based off of Thaumaturge. The light attacks are based off of Master of Arms. Because that's direct damage, and then damage over time. And that is the CP, guys. So that's the Darkbane Priest so far. Now I'm going to take it over to, of course, Depths of Malatar, and we're gonna see how well this thing can handle itself in there. I will say this: I'm kind of leery, because no offense to the guy who had me come up with this fantastic idea. And it is a fantastic idea. I really liked working on this. At first it was Breton, and then I was like, you know, I already have something coming out Breton. I want to do something a little different. Let me try Khajiit, because this will fit for Elsweyr. So, really? Sorry, I know why it does that. It's because my video card's getting a little warm. So, let's go and see how we can do. Okay, I'm slightly impressed. Okay, I'm getting more impressed. I didn't expect it to work this good, to be honest. Okay, guy, you might have something here. I've never played a purely Resto Staff character, so I don't, like, I played it once for a little while, but I never really got into it. Mainly because, oh my god, look at this thing. I am just standing through this stuff. Holy moly, this thing is... Okay, I will admit, this is freaking wicked. This thing is awesome. Oh, I could make this. I could play this way. Oh my gosh. Is that bad when somebody says that? I mean, you gotta think, that's me saying I would play this way, like... Oh my god. I'm not even talking anymore, I'm just in awe. Okay, that's fine, it can kill me. Holy cow. Yes, if you guys can't hear, yes, that's excitement in my voice because I was actually having a lot of fun with this. And to the guy who gave me the idea, dude, there you go. This thing's wicked. And you got to see it firsthand. In use and everything. It could probably do a wondrous job keeping a group alive, like no problems, mainly because it just has so much healing factor behind it. So, but there you go, guys. That is the Dark Main Priest. Remember, role-playing only. Maybe some casual play in dungeons, maybe some veteran content like veteran dungeons. I don't know, like, again, I don't know how well this would work in a trial setting because, like, I've played this way with Combat Physician in a trial and Worm Cult and did fine through a trial, healing and normal. I don't know how well this would work in veteran mode in a trial. Probably worked fine in normal, again, don't really know, but it's a really cool concept and idea, and I really want to thank you for offering me this chance to work on something like this. This is the kind of stuff I like to do for you guys, is to bring you guys new, interesting ways you can play your characters if you so choose. As for the person who asked me to make a stamina build that used nothing but Resto Staff, I tried, I can't. It just doesn't work. No matter how much you want it to, it's just not going to work. So, I do apologize. But this is still pretty good. Even on a Templar, this would be pretty wicked. On a Sork, On a Warden, this would be awesome. Warden, Templar, and Necro would probably be great setup. This, yeah, that's cool. I'm sitting here with a big old grin on my face. You guys would be like, "Oh my god, he looks like a frickin' Cheshire Cat." But that is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys liked it. And if you did, you guys know what's coming next. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day. And this guy might see you in game. Bye.